Yeah.
Every day is Friday. I want you guys to let me know in the comments below what you thought of that commercial. Was it too cheesy? I know it's just a Forester, but I want to do more like edits like that for Friday and try and really promote the shirt. So check it out. Link in the description, the Friday Warehouse. So I've been doing this YouTube thing for a little bit now, and I consistently get DMs of people asking me how to do tricks, and I just want to be straight up, like, I'm not a pro. I don't know if I'm really qualified to tell you how to do tricks, but over the last year, I have gotten a lot of comments saying, wow, you're progressing like so fast at skating, you're getting so much better. And so although I don't want to tell you how to do tricks specifically, I can tell you how I go about doing the tricks, or how I go about learning how to do the tricks. And I have a very specific process, like a step-by-step organized way of going about learning how to get better at skating. And that's what I want to share with you guys today, because you guys see me go through this process, but I kind of want to lay it out for you, for anybody that wants to try and use my system and incorporate it into their skating to see if it can help them have more fun skating and just get better at skating. Before we get into the system though, I do want to get a quick warm-up, so let's head to the park and get some skating in. Okay, so this system has basically 4 steps. So before I go through each of them individually, I just want to go over the 4 steps right out of the gate. So step 1 is just to watch the pros. Step 2 is to analyze what the pros are doing. Step 3 is to analyze yourself and figure out what you're doing different than the pros. And then step 4 is to try and copy the pros. So like I said, I'm not like an amazing skateboarder, so I don't feel comfortable like telling you like this is how you should do a trick. I can just tell you kind of like my thought process and my thoughts of like what I'm learning as I go throughout it. So what I do is step number 1 is I just watch a lot of skateboarding. Like I'm subscribed to like Thrasher, the Barracks. I always watch like the Pocket Magazine Followed, or like watch videos from Jankum. I watch videos from like everybody. I'll watch like old skate videos. I just watch a lot of skating, and I do this because when you see other people do tricks, it makes you kind of believe that like it's more possible. When you kind of plant that seed in your brain, I feel like that's just kind of the first step, because it opens up your mind to kind of like the possibilities of skateboarding, and it's really inspiring and gets me motivated to go skate. So step 1 is I just watch a lot of skateboarding, but when I've got a trick that I'm trying to learn, I'm gonna find one of my favorite pros that does that trick really well, and ideally find a trick where they're doing it in slow motion so that I can watch them do it over and over and over again. And that brings us to step 2, is to analyze what the pros are doing. Figure out how to put yourself in their shoes. Imagine what it would feel like to have your shoulders turn like that, or your foot flick like this. The goal is to answer this question: what are they doing that's making the trick happen? And just start watching them do the trick over and over, asking yourself that question: what are they doing that's making the trick happen? And come up with your best explanation for what it is that's going on. And the more specific you can be about it, the better it is. And then step 3 is just to go and try the trick, and don't try and copy the pros initially. Just do it the way that you naturally, your body would go about doing it. And then once you see how you're going about it, try and really become aware of, where your head is, where your shoulders are, like what is your body doing. The better you can figure out what your body is doing, the faster you're going to be learning tricks. So that leads into step 4, which is to copy the pros. So step 1, 2, and 3, if you nail those, step 4, copying the pros, is going to be really, really easy. Really, the hardest part is step 3, which is figuring out what you're doing. Filming yourself can help a lot, but basically the goal is to figure out where the pros are at, what they're doing, and then what are you doing, and kind of figure out what is the gap between you and them. The better you understand what you do and what they do, the easier it is to close that gap, which is step 4, the 4th and final step, to copy them. So that's essentially my process for learning tricks. Let me know in the comments below how you go about learning tricks. I'm guessing you probably have a similar process. Maybe it's more structured or less structured, but I'm curious to know, what are your tips for learning how to learn or just improving your skating? I do have like one overarching tip that I think is probably the most important, and I'm gonna get to that in just a second. But the other week I went up north and I was able to skate the Provo Plaza and get a few clips. I had a short session, but I wanted to show you some of that skating, so roll those clips now. I always forget to ask people to like the video, so like the video. So close. Okay, so the last tip that I have is to focus on quantity over quality. And so I don't mean that you should land your tricks sloppy, like don't be sloppy. What I'm saying is sometimes as skateboarders it can get tempting to like see a dream trick or a trick that your favorite pro does and go after like a really, really hard trick when there could be like 3 variations of a trick that you already know that you could learn in one session, but instead you don't worry about learning all those variations. You just skip to doing like the hardest trick possible. The reason I think that this is a bad idea really just comes down to the fact that skateboarding is all about board control, becoming more connected to your skateboard. At least in my opinion, this is all just my thoughts. And so the more different tricks that you can do, it means you have more board control, because the more different ways that you can manipulate your skateboard, the more you understand how to control it and how to control your body to make certain things happen. And when you get super focused in on trying this one trick, you could be trying that one trick for a month, and maybe it takes you a month and you get that trick. Well, you really only learned one thing about skateboarding from learning that one trick. When if you focus on easier tricks, you might be able to learn like 3 tricks in a session. Maybe it's a trick that you already know, but you've never done it on this obstacle, or you've never done like a 180 out or a shove it out. But adding smaller variations can add up to more board control a lot faster. So say you learn 3 a day, that's like 20 tricks a week, that's like 80 tricks a month. So would you rather learn 80 new things each month or just one thing? Because really the secret to learning the hard tricks is in doing the 80 easier tricks that kind of build up to being able to do that hard trick and actually do it with a lot more ease because you're prepared for it. You have the board control to handle it. So that's my last tip, is just to focus on quantity over quality, not get tripped out about doing the hardest tricks, but just try and learn 3 tricks a session or do something new every session, even if it seems like mundane. The more well-rounded you can be as a skateboarder, I personally feel the better it's gonna be for your learning and progression overall. And that's definitely how it has been for me. Like, I just kind of like start slow and focus on like the basics and branching out from there. So that way when I learn a new trick, it's not this big leap to try and make it happen. It's all these small incremental steps. And not only is it a faster, more efficient way to learn, I think it makes you more comfortable on your skateboard and look more natural. I think your style is going to be better, and you're going to be like landing new stuff all the time, which is really motivating. And I think that's like the funnest part of skateboarding, is just like learning stuff, at least for me. So I think it's just all around a way better approach. But let me know in the comments below if you disagree or what your approach is to skateboarding that has helped you. But that's pretty much it, guys. Make every single day a Friday. Head to the Friday Warehouse and grab yourself a shirt. Remind yourself to make a life for yourself where every day feels like Friday. And that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.